So it's the final film now. How much are you going to miss it, firstly?
We're going to really miss it. I think we're all like really close friends, so we're going to see each other all the time anyway. I'm not going to miss the hours and hours of running places, so I'm quite relieved that that's over. But I'm really going to miss working with Wes Ball because he's so awesome and so cool. And we've been so fortunate to do 3 movies with him that I think I've kind of forgotten what it feels like to work with anyone else. So it's going to be odd not having that dynamic.
Of course. And when you kind of got the role in the first one, did you ever imagine it'd be such a huge franchise with so many fans?
No, not at all. We genuinely, I remember shooting it and we all sort of said on the last week, we've had a beautiful time, we'll never forget this experience, but there's no way that they'll pick us up for a second movie. And even the producers weren't sure, no one was sure. And I think that's what's kind of beautiful about it, that it's been very organic, the kind of progression of it being more and more popular.
Would you ever be interested in returning to the world, maybe for the prequels, or...?
I don't think so. I think it's kind of 3 is a really great kind of throwback to how franchises used to be. And I like that. I don't like the idea of extending something just for the sake of making more money out of the fans, even though I was in Pirates of the Caribbean number 17. But I really like that it's 3 movies. I think that's very cool, and I'd like to keep it that way.
So your character, Teresa, has had quite the journey over the films. What was it like kind of playing her on the other side, now involved with Wicked and that kind of thing?
It's kind of why I signed up for the movies. You know, I knew that she was going to go on this journey and she was going to have a really interesting full arc. And to get to this side of it, it's been 5 years. You know, I've been building her up slowly in my mind and trying to justify her decisions and her reasons and understand her. And in this 3rd movie, I feel like I really got an opportunity to show why she made the decision that she did. And to explore that for myself about whether I would have done the same or not. So it was awesome to get to finally round that off.
So knowing that was coming, did you ever feel pressure, or were you kind of in your mind planning how you were going to act stuff as you knew what was going to happen?
No, I try and do it however the character is doing it. So in the 2nd movie, she slowly regains her memories. And I think it's quite a slow process where she realises what she thinks is the right thing to do. So from the beginning of the movie, I was still very much with Thomas and with the guys, and I tried to add layers of that throughout the film so that by the end, it would feel natural to come to that decision.
Is there a particular scene in this final film that you really enjoyed filming?
The whole final sequence in the 3rd act is really extraordinary. I think Wes has done an incredible job of showing, you know, a city the size of London collapsing, and that's really amazing to see. The CGI is great, the action is great, the choreography of the stunts is really, really awesome. And also the relationships between the characters finally coming to like a crescendo is really cool to see. So for me, that's my favourite part.
And spoilers for anyone watching this, Teresa does die.
Oh,
I know. What?
You can't say that.
Knowing that was going to happen, how did that ever change the way you played the character?
No, because she didn't know she was going to die. She just dies. I've never died on screen before, so I was actually really excited about it. And the way we shot the stunt was really cool. It's a 30-foot free fall because the building collapses underneath her. So for me, I was just really excited to get to do that stunt and also like try and act whilst falling. So no, I just kind of played it as naturally as possible so that when it happens, she's a bit like, oh shit.
This is what's happening.
Dying now.
So kind of with these 3 films, it's been a bit, over the past 10 years, a golden age of young adult dystopian fiction. What's it like being involved in kind of this huge trend which so many young people love?
It's kind of awesome. It feels like a new genre of film, and I think that's really exciting. You know, people kind of sometimes think that YA is cheesy or tacky, but it's for a whole generation that still go to the cinema to watch movies. You know, these are kids that read the books, that are avid fans, that get together and go experience something as a group in the cinema the way it should be seen on a big screen. And I think that's really special. And I love that I'm kind of a part of that, and that hopefully one day my son will kind of think it's cool that I was in something like that.
Do you think that this might be kind of this golden age is coming to end with this series ending, Divergent ending, Hunger Games, or do you reckon it's still
I hope not. I still think it's a really interesting genre. We still are making superhero movies. We're still making romance and comedy films, and I don't see why it has to end at all. I think there's lots of really cool stories out there still to be told.
Sure. Before you auditioned for the film or got the role in the film, did you read the books at all?
No, I hadn't heard of them, to be honest. I had no experience of them. And when I got the part, I ran to like a Barnes & Noble in America and bought the first book and read it really quickly before meeting Wes because I was scared he'd tell me off.